You need to beat air into the liquid so that it has that happy, joyful, bubbly texture, which is really important to some of these citrusy cocktails. Ice isn't always just for chilling or keeping that drink nice and cool in your glass as you sip on it. It does a lot of other things as well. One of those major functions is aeration. When you're gonna shake a cocktail and make that nice, frothy, effervescent drink, ice is the way you're doing it. To illustrate that, I'm gonna make two cocktails side by side. I've chosen a classic gimlet. It's the same base as a daiquiri or a margarita, sour basically, that we're gonna break down into its parts, shake it up, and I'm gonna show you what ice can do if you're using the right piece. We're gonna build our gimlet into our small tin. You always wanna build it into the small tin just because you know you can't overflow with building too much into the big tin. Put that down there, we're gonna use our 2-to-1 jigger. Add 3/4 ounce lime juice, 3/4 ounce of that simple syrup. We've got this beautiful bottle of gin here. We're gonna do 2 whole ounces. That's your traditional spec for a sour, and you can rearrange a lot of the spirits, juices, sweeteners to make all sorts of different combos, and it always works. That's 2 to 3/4 to 3/4. Now let's talk about the ice. This first time, I'm gonna use smaller pieces. The traditional ice that you find out of a maker that's gonna be in a hotel lobby or in the back of a restaurant. It's smaller and has more points of contact, and it's gonna dilute a little bit quicker. What it also is gonna do is whip up the cocktail, although you'll still tell the difference between the hand-carved ice and this. At home, those freezer pieces or the cloudy cubes are gonna break up quickly, and they're not gonna make as frothy of a cocktail. So get the big cubes, do the 2x2 molds, and it's gonna make a better cocktail. When you're shaking, you're doing a lot of things to your drink. You're whipping up that froth, and you're also chilling it and diluting it. The good part about shaking is it's such a forgiving curve. The only thing that's gonna ruin your drink with a shake is if you're not doing it aggressively enough. So don't be afraid to make your goofy faces because it makes a better cocktail. Strain it into our coupe glass. And you can see it's a nice cloudy texture with some big bubbles on top. I'm gonna leave this here and we're gonna make another one, but we're gonna use the big cubes so I can show you just how important that is. Fresh tin. Same again, 3/4 to 3/4, 2 ounces. They say these citrus cocktails and sours like the daiquiri that you're supposed to drink them while they're smiling at you or laughing at you, which is quick. This time, we're gonna use a big cube. One of those hand-cut cubes that we made earlier out of the freezer. When you're shaking this, because of all that weight going back and forth in there, your tins are gonna wanna blow apart. This one requires 2 hands. Pour the cocktail over the top, make sure they're snug. You hear it hitting the end of the tin, and it's whipping up all that air. Because it's such a large cube, it takes much longer to shake to get the same results. So if you're shaking for 9 or 10 seconds with small cubes, make sure you're feeling how it's chilling through the tins. Don't be surprised if it takes up to 13 or 14 seconds. As we pour this guy in, you're gonna notice that it's just a lot fluffier. You'll see it develop a little bit of a head on top of the cocktail, and it's gonna retain that really pretty bubbles all the way through. That's a classic gimlet, and I'm ready for a New York summer.